Nobody's going to want to be physical with you. Nobody's going to want to be around you, hold your hand, take you out to eat, do all the sexy things. They're not going to want to do that if they constantly get met with complaint. Because I can't do nothing right. Why would I sit up under you? Assalamu alaikum, peace. It's Fatimah, Coach Fatimah, 1/3 of Outstanding Personal Relationships and co-author of the new book, Let's Talk Polygyny Uncensored. Now, y'all, in this video, it's a big one. It's a question that was asked to me, and it was about what do men find unattractive, or what turns a man off from his wife? And this is a great question. I love this question because how often do we really think about that? And it seems to be oftentimes when one feels as though they're kind of in trouble or their husband's upset with them, and they might wonder, well, what did I do wrong? So I'm going to discuss the 5 behaviors that men cannot stand, especially from their wives. Now, I stress wives because if you're not a wife, it hits differently because it's like, okay, there's not a solid commitment here. There's no, I don't have to hold to this. I can just go on about my business and just move around. And when you're a wife and there's a long-term commitment, or maybe you're just a newlywed, then you go, okay, I might get some grace, or I might get some type of redemption from doing this wrong behavior or this negative behavior because this is new. But if you find yourself in patterns, then it's important to break those for the success of the marriage. Now, what does that mean? So what is one of the main things that men find very upsetting or a turnoff? One of the main top ones that I find in the work that I do with coaching and counseling in marriage, and especially alternate marriage, which is polygyny, is that they don't like disrespect. And the measurement of disrespect is different than what we have. What we find disrespectful, they might not see a big problem with it. But what they find disrespectful, we might not see a problem with it. We might not understand that tone matters, intention matters, talking down to matters, jokes that go too far matter. Those things, disrespecting the other wife or his children matters. Because if the tables were turned and somebody disrespected you or your children with him, he wouldn't like that either. Men don't like gossip. They don't sit around with each other. If they do, then something else, I don't know. There's not any men that I've met that go, child and girl, guess what he did? And can you believe that? What? They don't sit up and do that. They're typically talking about ideas, business, certain challenges, but they're not gossiping and sitting and nitpicking. They're trying to find a solution. We're talking about men. I'm not talking about males, because every male ain't no man. So it's best practices, again, for best results. Observing the fact that they don't like spending a lot of time talking about people matters. So if we're just talking about people and your co-wife and she did this and she did that and complain, that leads me right into the next one, complaining, constant complaining, constant, because what happens to a man, from what I know of the men that have been in my life, my father, my grandfather, my own husband, uncles, and just observing, is that when you're met with constant complaints, what is heard is that you're not good enough. I'm not appreciative. I'm not grateful. I don't like you. I don't like what you did. You can't fix this. You have limits. I don't trust you. I don't trust your ability. I don't trust your leadership. So it's not just complaint. It can feel very personal to the listener. There's so much that women don't like. There's tons we don't like either. But the majority of what is happening, especially in polygyny, is that since the man practices polygyny and he's not the wife, the wives are met with many things. So they're upset, and understandably so. And it can come out this way. So when there's a constant complaining, when there's a constant, well, you need to fix this, there's so much pressure there that one can feel like they don't have a way out, or they can't move, or they're not good enough, or they can't make this person happy. Now, we are in charge of our own happiness, all of us, men and women alike. We are in charge of our own happiness. Can't nobody make us happy. We have to make a decision that we're going to be happy, although we're met with challenges, although we're met with different things and change and fear and love and war and all those different things like that. It is on us. It's our personal responsibility to make our own selves as individuals happy. Now, that doesn't mean you don't reevaluate your situation. You might have to. But starting it off with complaining does not work. It doesn't work. Your husband might say, okay, let me go over here and fix this thing. But it's just, okay, let me get rid of this so this is not an issue and no longer a complaint, and I don't have to hear about this constantly. It's a turn off. Nobody's going to want to be physical with you. Nobody's going to want to be around you, hold your hand, take you out to eat, do all the sexy things. They're not going to want to do that if they constantly get met with complaint. Because I can't do nothing right. Why would I sit up under you? Why would I want to be around you? Why would I smile? Why would I share laughs with you? Why would I want to go anywhere? Take time with you. Another thing that men don't like either, husbands don't like, is contempt. And one of the ways that contempt can settle in is if we don't do our own personal work and we don't have these hard conversations and we don't invest in the relationship. If we keep complaining, and they can't do nothing right and you're wrong, then contempt can settle in. Because I really don't trust you. I really don't like you. And that is what is heard, again, by the listener. True contempt can be an eye roll. Now, eye roll could be, will you hurry up and stop talking? Will you come on now? No, you are ridiculous. It can be something fun-loving because the intention is that. But when someone feels you and they know you and they love you, and then you roll your eyes when they're sincerely expressing something to you, it is felt as contempt. That might not be your intention at all. That's how it feels. You really don't like me. You really despise me. It's a very strong word, contempt. But contempt builds over time. It's not something that you look up in your lap and you go, oh, look, contempt just fell in my lap. Now I feel contempt for you. Yeah, it just fell down. That's not how that works. Another main one is inconsistency. Inconsistency. Now, what does that mean? I'll give you an example. Inconsistency is I forgive you, but everything that you're doing is not supporting forgiveness. And then it's, I don't like you. I don't like what you did. And then a week later, I forgive you. I love you so much. And then something might be triggering or upsetting. I don't like you did this. Because see, the man doesn't know what to do with it. He doesn't know, are you in or are you out? If you're in, here I am. If you're out, I don't know. I need to build up a wall and guard myself because I don't know when you're going to leave. I don't know if you're going to try to take the kids. I don't know what's happening. I don't know if there's personality issues. Your forgiveness is on a yo-yo. It's a minefield. I feel like I'm stepping in. I got to be careful where I walk. I'm on eggshells. Just because men are stronger physically, just because they have the strength to just kind of pick us up and just walk off, or carry us with one arm, or throw us over their shoulder, or fight another man, take hits, lift things with their strength and their power. Something so beautiful as throwing their child in the air and catching them doesn't mean that they don't feel like they're stepping on eggshells in their own house sometimes. Doesn't mean that. Because there's an uncomfortability about not knowing what's going on with you. Because the personality or the emotions haven't been consistent. That doesn't mean we don't feel emotion. That doesn't mean we're supposed to ignore how we feel about something. It just means it might be more difficult for him to navigate that. You can say, you know, this is bothering me. Let's get some clarity. Let's sit down. Let's talk. But to walk around rolling your eyes or giving the silent treatment or love bombing, you know, I hate you today, love you tomorrow. That and hugs, 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 and affection, infection, and affection. And then the next move, the next day, nothingness. No words, no nothing. Oftentimes, if you know what's going on, they don't know what's going on. So that's why we have to say, this is what's going on with me, because when you do it, they can deal in it better. They can try to say, okay, now I know what's going on because I had no idea. I really had no idea. I didn't even know all this was going on. Because we might be thinking 10 layers deep, and they don't know it's that deep for us. Unless we say, this is deep for me, and here's why. So understanding that gossiping, complaining, inconsistency, contempt, and complaints are just, and disrespect. That's the whoo. If I could drive the point home, tone and all those things like that matter to men. Just because they don't show their emotions maybe as much as we do doesn't mean they're void of them. Doesn't mean they don't feel very deeply. And if we think that they don't feel very deeply, especially shout out to our introverts that don't say as much, they feel deeply and they can get hurt easily. And somebody say, oh, don't be so sensitive. It's a lot when you're in your own home and you feel as though you are not liked, not welcome, disrespected, not trusted. And yes, a lot of people, it's from their own hand. But if they're truly trying to do growth work, if they're truly trying to do better, you will see it in their behavior. You will see it in your husband's behavior. You will see him trying. And you will also see him being fearful that he might lose everything and he might not say it. So to commit to the marriage and say, you know what, this is not easy for me. Polygyny is not easy for me. Today is a rough day for me. I need a hug. It might be something so simple, but so big. If they could just give that, if they're allowed to, that matters to the longevity of the marriage. Because I've never heard anybody say, you know what, I'm going to get married, but it's going to be short term. I'm out of here. Not anybody with a healthy thought pattern. They want success for the long term. They want to be invested for the long term. They want to love you to life, but they can't do it if they're met with the 5 behaviors that turn men off. And once they're turned off, it's hard to come back over. It's hard. They might want to, but it's hard. Because if it was us and all that was happening with us, it would be hard for us too. So let's just keep that in mind. I hope you guys got some gems from this video. I felt the need that I needed to create a video surrounding these behaviors because I met with a lot of people that, especially the sisters that say, you know what, I don't know what's going on. He won't open up. He won't this. He won't this. Keep getting met with disrespect. It's hard. I don't know when you're going to do it again. I don't know when you're going to disrespect me again. So just keep that in mind. Make sure you guys are following us on our social media platforms for Outstanding Personal Relationships on Facebook and YouTube and Outstanding Relationships on IG. Make sure you get your polygamy roadmap by visiting polygamyroadmap.com and check out our polygamy masterclass at polygamymasterclass.com for details. It's super exciting to know that we have created Such an amazing tool. I love it. This training, we go deep into a lot of these different areas in our polygamy masterclass. So make sure you check it out for details. And also, we're going to put something in the comments. Let's put long-term marriage in the comments if you made it through this entire video, so that we can see you guys and give you a little heart within the comments as well. I'm going to leave you guys with some GLC. Make sure you're growing intentionally, loving fearlessly, and connecting on a higher level every single day. I'm Coach Fatimah. We'll see you all in the next one. Assalamu alaikum. Peace.
We are also the authors of the new ebook, The Polygamy Roadmap. 2 different roadmaps, one specifically for men and the other
for women.
Naturally. So no matter where somebody is in their journey, whether they're considering it and what's required, especially men I'm talking to, I share the 5 requisites on really what it takes to build a healthy, successful polygynous family unit. So with that being said, make sure if you're a man and if you're serious, not just curious, you take action and get it today.
And in the women's polygamy roadmap, we talk about the different feelings that women might go through with emotions of fear, challenge, betrayal, jealousy.
Yes, and we give you some good insight as well as tips, anecdotes, as well as some of our stories of struggle in the polygamy roadmap too for women. And you will find out really how to have a type of confidence in yourself after reading this. I'm truly in the mindset that you would anyway.
Indeed. So do what you got to do. And that means go to polygamyroadmap.com, grab your copy. We look forward to you benefiting from it and joining us in our private community. With that being said, Assalamu alaikum.
Peace.